I'm going to do a quick little tutorial here for a couple of guys in a group I belong to. I was originally going to do this in Aspire 8, I think is what I have, but I went ahead and downloaded the trial version of 12 just so I could see the layouts of the buttons because some of these controls and stuff are all in different places. But what we're going to do is just a very simple, quick V carving. So here I've got the vectors or the words that I want to V carve. It's pretty simple, straightforward. We're going to come up here to the V Carve tile and we're going to give it some information. So the start depth is going to be 0 because that's the top of the material is where the 0 point is. And we can give it a flat depth, and if we don't give it a flat depth, we'll do this in stages. So we're going to use this 90-degree 1 1/4 inch V bit. Let's see what else they have in here. This is all, yeah, let's go this 1/4 inch. That's probably what most people are going to have. So if we have a V-bit and we don't really change anything else in here, what it's going to do is it's going to go down as deep as it can with that cutter until the two lines meet up or it'll step over. I'll show you what I mean. So if we run over here and just calculate it, you can see that over on the left, it's just going to basically travel right up the middle. It's going to come up here to get the corners. And here we can see what the tool path is going to look like. There's a lot of step overs and stuff, so let's preview that. And what I like to do is set a contrasting color. So as you can see, it goes really deep because it can fit in there. The tool can actually fit in there. And if I had smaller letters or lines that were closer together, which let's go ahead and do this real quick. And we'll just go test and let's find a font that is really skinny. I'm going to move this off of there. Yeah, we'll do that one right there. And we will make this a lot smaller. So now if we just double click on this toolpath over here again, we can see that the vectors for that toolpath are highlighted on the left and the right. We can hold our shift button down and we can come in here and get this test as well and then calculate it. And let's do a reset to preview, preview all toolpaths. So these are not going to be as deep because the lines are nowhere near as far apart. So it's going to come down and just run the cutter right in the middle of this and maybe do a couple where it widens out. But now so that's a quick and easy V carve. So now let's go ahead and put in a couple more parameters. We're still going to use all that. Let me reset the preview. So now we're going to give it a flat depth. And I'm just going to use 0.05. I'm in inches. So that's 50,000. So, and then let's calculate that. So here we can see we have two tool paths. And the clear, and you can even see the icon is a flat end mill here. If we highlight that one, that's what that's going to do. Is it's going to go in there and clear out to that depth that we specified. So let's just preview that. So we can see here it didn't cut there because that tool is too large in diameter to be able to make that skinny line. And here we can see it didn't do anything with our test because our tool is larger than any of the gaps in there, so it just didn't touch them. So now let's look at our V Carve actual tool path, and we'll preview that. Now we can see that it came in and cleaned up those spots, and it was able to do our smaller little test down here. Now, what happens if we take this and we put, say, an oval around it? And then we'll move this down. So if we double click here and we just hold our shift button down, and now we're going to select the oval as well, what it's going to do is it's going to cut everything inside this oval that is not the other vectors. So that this will actually remain as the raw wood. And let's just go ahead and calculate that. Reset our preview. Let's preview the first one, which is the flat, which is the clearing. So it goes in and clears it to that depth. And here we can see that this area was too small for the tool to fit in there, so it didn't go in there. Now if we go ahead and run this, preview this one, so there's that, and it goes in and cleans everything up and makes it nice and sharp and pretty. Puts a little angle on it. And now if we wanted to, we could play around with this. Let's offset that outwards just a little bit. Now what happens if we add this line in with it? So now we're telling it, cut everything that's inside of that outside vector, the oval, to that one. And then since these two are being used for that channel, now it's going to just come in and cut these letters into the wood. So let's reset and preview that so we can see our oval. And then preview. Yeah, and there's our test and everything. So that's basically how you do V carving. And then what we would end up doing is saving these out to a file. We can't save them because we can't save them into one file because we don't have an automatic tool changer and they're different tools. So we would have one file for V Carve 1 and then the V Carve pointed bit itself. And then we would go in and find our post processor that matches our machines. So for mine, since I use Mach 3, I think, let's see if we could add, I would come all the way down into the M's. There we are. We're down here. So I would use, for my machine, this ARCS one because these have ATC on them. So it's for automatic tool changer. And this is a wrap, so it would be wrapping around either the x-axis or the y-axis. So you don't want that. Those are for rotary. So we would want this one for me, and then save out the files. I hope this helps.